What's up everyone, it's Baseball Star here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the San Francisco Giants 2019 season. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you love baseball. So in the beginning of the season, the Giants got off to kind of a rough start. Our main players like Posey and Crawford and Panik just weren't performing well in the beginning of the season. Buster Posey has been a disappointment this year. He's hitting .254 with 6 home runs and only 36 RBIs. He hasn't really been performing that great this year. People thought that he would be hitting for more power because of the hip surgery, but he really hasn't been doing that much this year for the Giants. Brandon Belt so far has had a decent year. He's hitting .235. Doesn't really hit for much average. He's hitting for a little bit of power with 16 home runs and 56 RBIs. Surprisingly, he hasn't had that many injuries this year, so that's been good. He's pretty much stayed consistent throughout this whole season. And starting over there at second base, Joe Panik. He hit .235 with 3 home runs and 27 RBIs. Personally, I feel that Panik is overrated. He hasn't really done anything since the 2014 playoffs and a little bit in 2015, but these last few seasons, 2016, 2017, 2018, Panik really has not put up that great numbers, and he was kind of a below average second baseman for a while. And even though Joe Panik has been a fan favorite for these last few years, the Giants released him, which I think was a smart move. Crawford is the obvious starting shortstop on the team. He hits .230 with 11 home runs and 55 RBIs. He hasn't had that great of a season at the plate. He has done okay in the field, so he's having a pretty average season. He isn't really putting up the typical Brandon Crawford numbers that we've been seeing these last few years because he is getting older, but he's still an average shortstop. Evan Longoria has had a pretty decent season this year at third base. He's hitting .257 with 19 home runs and 64 RBIs, showing a little bit of power, hits in the heart of the order for the Giants. We picked him up in 2018, and he's done a pretty decent job over there at third base. Alright, so yeah, the Giants had a tough first half with their main guys not really performing as well as they would have hoped, but in the second half, they really picked it up. The Giants picked up Kevin Pillar in the second half, which was a huge help to that offense. Pillar has had a terrific season, hitting .260 with 21 home runs and 80 RBIs. He's the team's hitting leader, even though he's only played part season, and he's showed a lot more power than the Giants would have expected. He's also a better fielding center fielder in the game, and I think that he's really helped this Giants lineup. And I truly feel that if it weren't for Kevin Pillar, the Giants would not be where they are right now. So in the second half of the Giants season, they picked up Mike Yastrzemski, another outfielder, and he has totally exceeded everyone's expectations. He's the new leadoff hitter, hitting .265 with 19 home runs and 51 RBIs. He's got a lot of young talent, and he could be part of the future of this team. And the Giants also got Alex Dickerson, another outfielder, who nobody really expected that much of. We got him from the Padres, then he went through AAA and then up to the Giants. And he's had a pretty good season too. He's hitting .289 with 6 home runs and 26 RBIs. He is dealing with some injuries now, but I think that he has really proven himself this year, and he could go far with the Giants if he continues to put up good numbers. Donovan Solano has also been a big surprise of this year. He's hitting .333 with 4 home runs and 26 RBIs. Doesn't hit for much power, but he has a good batting average, hitting .333. He gets a lot of hits, he gets on base, and I think that that's exactly what the Giants need. He's helped the team out a lot during the second half, and I think that he could be the starting second baseman of next year. And if not the starting second baseman, then probably a useful utility guy that plays shortstop and second base. So we've talked enough about the offense now, let's talk about the pitching side of things. Who's the best pitcher on the Giants? Well, obviously, it's Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner has a 9-8 record with a 3.75 ERA. He's been injured the last couple of seasons, and this year he's come back super strong, pitching great. Giants starting pitching overall has struggled a lot this year, but Bumgarner is the only pitcher who has been pretty consistent and solid throughout the year. So another one of the starting pitchers in the Giants rotation is Jeff Samardzija. Samardzija has a 10-12 record with a 3.72 ERA. He had a really tough first half, but the second half he's really picked it up, which is good news for the Giants because over these last few years he really hasn't done much for them. I would say overall he's had an okay season, nothing too crazy, nothing too horrible. He's just right in the middle. Overall, the starting pitching has really struggled this year, but I think that they can pick it up in the 2020 season with Cueto returning. I think things will be looking good next year. Although the starting pitching struggled this year, the bullpen has been fantastic. The Giants have one of the best bullpens in baseball, and Will Smith has been great this year. He has a 5-0 record with a 3.0 ERA and 32 saves, which is a lot. He's had a fantastic year. He went to the All-Star game to represent the Giants, and I think that he's really come back strong. Now, I feel that the Giants had a pretty productive trade deadline towards the end of the season. They traded Sam Dyson, a relief pitcher who was doing great. He had a 3.32 ERA and 2 saves. I think it was the right move trading him to get some key prospects. Mark Melancon is kind of in the same boat as Sam Dyson. He has a 3.50 ERA with a save. He's had a better year than before, finally having the year that the Giants were hoping he'd have when they picked him up in 2017, so they traded him to the Atlanta Braves at the trade deadline. And the Giants got Mauricio Dubon from the trade deadline from the Brewers. He was the number 3 prospect in the Brewers organization. Then he came over to Sacramento. He hit great, having a really high batting average. So then the Giants recently called him up, and he's been doing pretty well. He's hitting .288 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs, one of those home runs off of Clayton Kershaw at Dodger Stadium. He's obviously got a lot of young talent showing great abilities in the field and at the plate, and I think that he's going to play a key role in the Giants' next 2020 season, and I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table. I feel like overall this year, the Giants have had a much better season than last year. It's been really productive. They made some good moves at the deadline, picked up some good players. Pilar has been good. Yastrzemski and Dubon are going to share key roles in the future of the Giants. They got Donovan Solano, a useful utility player. Johnny Cueto is finally back from his Tommy John surgery. So I think that the Giants are going to have an interesting season next year, and I'm looking forward to watching them. Also, don't forget that Joey Bart and Elliot Ramos are in the minor leagues. Bart is hitting .278 with 16 home runs on the year. Ramos is hitting .290 also with 16 home runs. So we got the power prospects finally moving up the order in the minor leagues, and I think that the Giants are going to have a bright future. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you found my video interesting, and I'll see y'all next time in my next video.